Our end goal right now is to kind of get a quick movie that we can show the whole class, like what we've done, right? And what we're going to do is called play blasting down here, play blast. Some quick setup though is when you're showing animation like this, we don't want these kind of controls clouding up the vision, you know, of it. So I always turn those off before play blasting. So let's go to show up here, up to the top left right here, top left of your little viewport, and you can turn off NURBS curves. Beep, right there. And there you go. So now you can see entirely what the character's doing, nothing else. But yeah, so there you go. And our end result, you guys have to do a little bit of setup on your side, but our end result, let's do quality 100, play last, is going to be something like this. You can see Maya kind of going through, making each frame into a video. Can't play. Ah! Wait a second. Wait a second. Excuse me. Excuse me. Shoot. Huh. All right. 1 second. 1 second. Everything is failing. Let's try to go to this. Let's play blasting to my, and I'm just looking down here. I want to see where that's play blasting, and hopefully we can open that with a different video viewer, like VLC or something. Desktop, course materials, art, poetry 7, animation, movies, and let's open with VLC. Let's give it a go, VLC. There we go. So that is entirely, well, I wish it would. There we go. There we go. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing, is play blasting that for now. And I'll show you guys how to do that. Now, the thing is that you can play blast right now, you guys. However, the problem is going to be that the file it outputs will probably be like half a gig, because you're going to have no compression on it. So there's a few steps we need to do. We need to get you guys a codec, right? A codec is basically something that interprets video footage and will kind of compress it. We need the H.264 compression type on there. So let's go. Let me send you guys a quick guide to doing this. We're going to be using QuickTime, and if you've been paying attention, a couple years back, QuickTime got into some issues because there was a vulnerability on Windows with their QuickTime player. So what we need to do is install QuickTime, but take out all the video player aspects of it when we install it. And let me show you guys a website. I'm linking this in the chat. Boom. So click on that link, and we should be able to sort of follow these steps. So first is we're going to go to Apple's website, and you're going to download. You can click that link that I sent over there, and you're going to download QuickTime 7.7.9 for Windows. This won't install it yet, right? This won't install it yet. This is just like downloading the installer for the program. So I'm going to show that in folder to you guys. And everyone do this with me, because I want to make sure everyone is on the same page. That way we can play blast stuff and kind of post it to each other a lot easier. Because if it's a 500 meg file, that's pretty hard to share with everyone, especially quickly, you know. And it's just going to clog up your machine anyways. So let's make sure we're keeping them nice and lean. All right, I'm using Mac. What's the process for Mac? I think you can actually, yeah, Diana, are you in Maya right now, Diana?
Yeah, I have Maya open.
Awesome. Can you right click this timeline on the bottom?
Okay.
And go to the little option box for Play Blast right here.
Okay.
One that I'm highlighting. And go to Format. What are your available formats here?
Hold on. I have 2 screens and it just plopped up to the other one that has a
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a classic. Yeah,
So
go to this
what am I looking for?
Go to this format, drag down, and see what your options are here.
Format is AV Foundation and image.
Okay. Now go to AV Foundation because yours is a little bit different from mine.
Okay.
And then go to encoding. And this is where the codecs would come into play, guys. Do you see H.264 in there at all?
Yes.
Oh, okay, awesome. So you're set. Every Mac user in here, could you please do the same thing just to make sure you guys are set? This might be a PC only type thing. But yeah, Diana, so basically the H.264 codec is going to spit out a file that's a lot smaller than like what we would if you just did like no encoding. so yeah, it's a good thing that you guys have that default with you. Anyone else on Mac that I'm on PC and I already have QuickTime. Do I have to modify the version I have? I doubt it. Ray, go. Could you go do the same thing? Oh man, you guys are already ahead of the curve. Okay. So format. Make sure you have a QT, which stands for QuickTime, right here. Make sure that's like in your formats, and make sure H.264. Make sure you have access to that codec right there. So that's for Ray and Maria. All right, so for everyone else, I'm going to assume that you already downloaded the setup, the QuickTime installer. Did you? Is anyone not at that step yet? Do we need to hold on for a little bit longer? Just want to make sure, because like, if you guys do this process incorrectly, your computer could be potentially vulnerable to some attacks, and I want to prevent that for everyone. Yeah, good to go. All right. Sounds good. Okay, so, oh, also Taiki and Chin, you guys are animation 4, right? Like, I don't think you guys have to. I don't think you guys have to be here if you, unless you were looking for like feedback or something. Then I'm all ears, but I just didn't want you guys to be hanging out in a call for hours on end waiting for stuff. But yeah, do you guys have any questions, Taiki or Chin?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, you can you can hang out and have me in the background for ASMR purposes, but yeah, yeah. So you guys aren't required to come. I think until next week. You guys will have to be here. But yeah, I'll make sure of that before then. But yeah, for everyone else, Diana already has the bouncy boy all play blasted. Nice. Okay, so for PC users that didn't have QuickTime on the Play Blast options right here, or H.264, we're going to install. So I'm just going to double click the installer. Then so man, yeah, since I already installed it, so much fun. So I can't really show you guys side by side then. That sucks. Basically, when this happens, you're gonna don't do typical. Don't do typical. What you're gonna be looking for is custom. This right here, a custom installation. Right here, make sure you're doing custom. Don't do typical, because typical could include some stuff that has vulnerabilities. Then once you do that, once you click custom, you go next. You're gonna have like a list of features that it wants to install. Make sure all of these are X'd out, especially QuickTime Player. We don't want that. That's the vulnerable one. QuickTime Essentials, that's what we want to install. That's what we're looking for, because QuickTime Essentials is what contains that codec and H.264, and that's how we can get some nice, simple play blasts out. And then, yeah, make sure all these are X'd out, and then do next, and you should be set. So it's a simple 3-step process. Let me know if you guys are having any issues with that. I don't remember it taking that long, but yeah. Does anyone need more time to install that before we move on to play blasting? Just holler in chat or maybe half a minute. Okay, yeah, it's all good. All good.
Where do we go to turn off the controls? Or
Oh yeah. I'll show that once everyone else is in here. Oh shoot! Wait 1 second. Let me try to find it. I found another sick style of rendering out of Maya last week. Or I mean, I knew about it, but I forgot to show it to you guys. Let me see if I can find it real quick while we're waiting. Oh yeah, yeah. Look at this one, guys. It's a little. It's a modifier. It's like a shader for Arnold that this guy made. And look at it. Look at that. Ooh. Get little paint strokes. Kidding me? Are you kidding me? We can do that? Do that shit? It's so sick. Look at that. It's so nice. I'd love to see like a short film in this style. Like, wouldn't that be so sick? I am a little bit worried though that like, because they haven't shown a character animating. Is this just a camera that's going around? And it looks like there are some like 2D effects, such as the mouth in here, because you can see the 3D base that they were working with. Wait, where is it? Oh, right here. So I feel like they might be fudging some things, but like, I don't know. It's hard to argue with these results that they get. Like, look at that. Oh man, that's so sick. That's so sick. Unfortunately, I think it is paid for, but you know, they made some sick shit, so yeah, I can't fault them. I cannot fault them at all. All right, does anyone need additional time to get that QuickTime installed properly without the player? All right, looks like we're good to go. Good stuff, guys. I'm all good now. Nice, nice. All right, so back in Maya. Oh, okay. So since we just installed that codec, I think we're gonna have to restart Maya. So everyone close out of Maya and then reopen it. Just go back down to Maya 2020 and pop that open again. Maya 2020. Let's Maya. Oh no, damn! MAGA has polluted the 4-letter MA random constant A acronym. Make America. What's Y? Make America yeet again. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh man. Oh, man. All right. So I'm gonna assume that everyone has Maya open again. Let me know if you're having problems opening it up again. I've noticed Maya sometimes if you close it and like try to reopen it fast, it just won't open. Let me know if that's happening. No one seems to be having issues with that. So hell yeah, that's encouraging. All right. My Maya doesn't want to die. I don't want your Maya to die either. Come to think of it. All right, so let's go to like your scenes will probably look like this. Here we go. And I just want to show you guys how to quickly turn off all those little NURBS curves for the controllers on this bad boy. If you go to show, wait, my Maya doesn't want to die. I keep hitting the exist button, but it still lives. It's because you're hitting the exist button. You're telling it to keep existing. No, what's actually probably happening is it's just being stubborn. So try it. You can, if you're on a PC, you can do Control Shift Escape and open up your task manager. After you open up your task manager, you can find your copy of Maya. Mine says Maya 4 for some reason. It's a little bit concerning if you ask me. It's probably because I have this Maya 2017 open in the background, which I should probably close at this point so my computer doesn't die. So I'm going to do that right now. But yeah, and then for any of those programs in there, you can just click it and then end task down here. And that will just that's the most efficient way to close a program, I've noticed, if it's being stubborn like that. Power usage very high from Zoom meetings. Damn it. Wow. The one only time Mac has beaten a PC, a sad yeehaw. That and rendering, I think. Well, it would depend on what your components are. So if you have a kick-ass Mac, that's going to render nicely. If you have a kick-ass PC, that's going to render nicely as well. Also, I think Macs they have better displays often because like you have to buy a monitor with a PC, you know, or with a laptop, and then like that it's just gonna have like that Retina display or whatever. I don't know. They're calling it something else these days, but yeah, Mac has really good displays, so it's good for color balancing and stuff. I know a lot of people use it for audio stuff as well, but you know, I'm sure that can be done on either. Yeah, but PC is customizable. It is and fixable and everything. It's pretty nice. Okay, so I'm gonna hope that everyone has their I'm gonna hope everyone has their scenes open in Maya. First step, boom, bang. Let's go up here, top left. We're gonna go to show, and let's turn off NURBS curves right here. Boom. RGB, RIP, RBG. Vader Ginsburg. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, that was tragic. That was so sad. And we got some RGB fans in the chat. That's nice. Nice to hear. So yeah, we have this ready to go. And you're gonna want to also probably press 6 to turn on textures. So you have nice little color on your guy right here. It'll be nice. It makes his teeth stand out and all that. So make sure you press 6, make sure you turn off nervous curves right here. And we're gonna go to position our camera somewhere where we can see the whole action right here, because it's going to just effectively render only this view right here. If you have some extra stuff on the UI that you don't want saved, because I have this little poly count up here in the top left. That's just for me when I'm working with models. If you want to go to Windows, display, my bad. And then heads up display, you can turn off all that stuff. Object details, no display, heads up display. Up here, as display, heads up display. You turn off poly count, boom. So you got that like pretty much blank area. We have the camera down here, but it's not too invasive. So I'm gonna move you guys over to the other screen. Very nice, very nice. Oh no. Oh no. There we go. All right, so now we're ready to play blast. So let's drag our time slider to the very start of the scene. And we're gonna right click, go to the play blast options right here. And we're gonna do view. Make sure you do format quick time. Or I think sometimes you can get MP4 in here with the H.264 codec. So as long as this encoding ends up at H.264, then you should be good. And then make sure your quality is at 100. Display size, enter this as 1920 by 1080, and make sure your scale is at 1. Basically, just copy all these settings that I've done. The encoding is the only optional one. Also, save to file. You can browse where you want to save that exactly. Mine's spitting it out into Art 427, Computer Animation 2, Spring 21 Movies, and then you can see my .mov file right there. So what I'm going to, sorry, that was on my end, that little error sound, in case you were wondering. So I'm also going to snipping tool this, snipping. Take a little snipping right here. And I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to paste that in the Art 427 server. I'm going to put that in the Art sharing channel. Boom. Play blast settings. Boom. Okay, so if you ever forget, then it's always sitting there in Discord. And let's see. Now back in Maya, we should be ready to just do a play blast. So I'm going to click play blast. Mine already has that movie file existing, so I'm going to override it. Boom. Okay. There we go. Weird how Windows was able to play that one fine this time. Strange. But yeah, so once that's play blasted, we can just go to that folder, and I'm gonna have Discord open as well. This is why I really recommend the desktop edition of Discord because you can just pop it open anytime. And let's put those in. Let's put those in the art sharing channel. So I'm going to just take that file that I output and drag it straight into Discord. And I'm just going to title it Mikey Boys Animation. Boom. Mikey Boys Animation. And you can see it. There you go. Those are all the steps. So let's see those. Oh, Benny's already got his bouncing boy in there. I'm gonna add a thumbs up reaction to that. I see people are adding some flames reactions. Got some fire in this Discord. Oh, I see Maria's got some steps in theirs. Got bouncing boyo. Hell yeah. But yeah, so everyone do that. And then we'll look at them all. We'll look at them all. I want to see all these bad boys. Mike, when I press 6, the scroll turns a darker gray and not orange. That could be because at some point during the process, the texture that he was linking to got like that file path got broken. That's fine. You can play blast it without color. You don't need to. Honestly, probably 80% of the time when I'm play blasting, I just play blast with gray mesh. And when you're working with like really complex rigs, you'll play blast with like 5 on gray, and you'll see that their rig is like separated out into parts, so it's not even like smoothly skinned. It will just be like parts parent into different pieces of the rig, purely for Maya performance. That way, like Maya can quickly do it because you're gonna be play blasting a lot, right? Because you're just only interested in the body movement. And play blasts are the best way to see that movement at like a nice frame rate, you know, especially if you have a slow computer. But yeah, it looks like everyone's able to sort of get that. Everyone's able to get that that codec in there because like these file sizes are really tiny, which is good. It's great for us. I will be right back 1 second while the rest of those are pouring in. My Discord won't open. What? Are you potentially logged in on your phone or something on accident or something? Like maybe might have some sort of account.
I have a cloud computer, so I think it's slowing down my real one. I don't know. I'll try my best to get it on there.
Yeah, if not, you can maybe share your screen and then we could just watch it from there when we get around to yours.
Okay.
Nice. All right. These are some good reacts. I like it. All right, I'll be right back while the rest of those coming in. All right. So let's get to viewing some of these. Hell yeah. Also, shit, I have no idea who you guys are in. I have no idea who you guys are in on this server. So, could you guys actually do me a favor real quick? And in the top left of Discord over here, can you go click this and then change your nickname to yourself? Just because it's like it's easier for me to understand who's who throughout the semester. Because otherwise I'm like, okay, who's like, I don't know if you're Captain Corgi. Like, I mean, I know that's Anna just from knowing Anna, but like, but yeah. So make sure you change your little nickname. That's over here. Let's see if you click on this top button right there. Beep, 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 beep. Very nice. All right, so let's start looking at them. We got my stupid animation. No one wants to see that. Let's check out Benny. Benny, what do you got in store for us? We're going full screen on this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That is one squishy boy. Let's see. I like the overlapping action of the tail. You got a good pose right here. Pretty good pose. But then right about here, it gets a little bit solid and then snaps to that frame. I'm guessing either your tangents in the graph editor are at a weird setting. They could be kind of like too extreme, or you might have a key kind of locking it down to that pose here, then it snaps into this up here. But I like right here, you see how Benny's tail starts curved at the top of that, then straightens out when it's landing. I really like that. That's amazing. It shows us exactly where these forces are coming from, you know, and where he came from as well, or like where they're going as well. My bad. But yeah, I would say the arc of the jump itself is a little bit triangular. So see if we map this out visually on the screen, it's a little bit triangular of an arc, so it kind of goes wah, 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 wah. Instead, we want something that's nice and clean, and yeah. But yeah, all in all, great attempt, great attempt. And then what do we got here? Oh my God. This is insane. I love this. Wow, this is awesome. So here we're seeing a lot of sort of acting from the squirrel, which is great that you fit acting into this sort of shot. I can tell that this squirrel is a little bit curious, a little bit apprehensive too. They kind of like sniff at the steps. I would say that for something like this, though, let's see, like right here. Notice how a lot of the acting is. Wait, can you guys see my camera? Like my window?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So a lot of the acting is sort of on this x-axis, like the left and right of the screen. What the issue with that is that kind of the posing doesn't get as interesting then, right? So if I'm just like this, it's almost like I'm in one of those old 2D side scrollers, and like everything is just like pixel art and just on one axis, which is great if you're going for that aesthetic. But like for a lot of acting shots, then we would kind of position the cam differently or set up a pose. So instead of going like here, he maybe sorry, this is hard to communicate in like, oh man, I fucking wish this class was in person so I could just do this in front of you guys. But yeah, so it's like right now we have a pose like this where like inspecting, like looking at it like this. But we could maybe open the chest up to camera and kind of like like kind of play around with that, right? So always be thinking about that and how your posing is going to look on camera. And also, so let's see, let's look at this again. Beep, beep, beep. I like the pacing of these first little jumps. And you guys are going to hear me make a lot of weird noises because that's how animators kind of communicate. Because weird noises kind of communicate timing and impact and sort of texture of the scene. So you're going to hear a lot of that. I apologize. But yeah, so eat, eat, eat. So like I like the pacing of those because they make it look like casual, make it look like playful, you know, which it is. And so that's perfect. Boom, bang, bang. Nice. Okay. Awesome. No, I love this. The one thing I could say is that you don't really have overlapping action on the tail on these frames. Like, for instance, if we go the very first frame of the jump, like right here, this tail, that tail it has like a little bit of weight behind it, right? It's gonna have that follow through as the squirrel jumps. It's gonna lag behind, you know. Like if my elbow is the squirrel, you see that? So we're gonna try to go for that sort of feel of the tail, you know. But yeah, this is great. I'd say that this arc is a bit too blocky right here. So look at the direction of the action on these frames. See how it's mostly up, and then it's over. Whoops. And maybe I can just play it from that. So it's up and then over. It's not too bad of an arc. It's still kind of smooth, but it is a little bit kind of blocky on these corners of the curve of that jump. Also, your first frames of the jump, the squirrel doesn't stretch out before leaving the ground. So that remember the last pose before leaving the ground is very straight, because if you do a jump, your muscles are basically flexing to get as straight as they can in your legs, and the rest of the body follows. So you need a good frame of the stretch before leaving the ground. But yeah, no, this is fucking sick though. Like, I love the acting. I love the choices that you've made. Like, this is amazing work. But yeah, so overlapping action, clean arcs on the jumps, and a nice stretch frame for the jump, for the leap. Does anyone else have any other comments for who is this? Who is this? For Maria? Because I like you guys to start getting like sort of discerning, you know, to say like what could be better, what's good right now. Like it's always good like to do that, because that's how you kind of develop your eye as an artist. And you guys are upper division, but like, you guys know that already. But like, yeah, so developing your eye is like the most key thing in my opinion, you know. So if you can discern where a problem in something lies, then you can fix it, you know. So that's when things really open up for you as an artist, you know. For instance, like it's harder for me to see like what's wrong with like a painting than it is for me to see what's wrong with an animation, just simply because I've done more animation than I have painting, you know. But yeah, so I wanted you guys to kind of be thinking about that. Yeah, sorry I didn't open up the floor to Benny for questions or comments, but I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's fine.
I am fine.
I am fine. Thank you, Benny. All right, and then wait, who was this? Ray. What is up, Ray? Let's see what Ray's got cooking for us. Yeah, okay. All right, everyone open up Ray's. Instead of me commenting first, I'd like let's hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this? boom, 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 boom. Oh, don't be bashful. Don't be bashful, class. Come on, let's get some feedback in here. Boom, boom. Man, this would be so much better in person.
I like the jump. I think the tail could use a little more overlapping action when he leaves the ground, or she. I don't discriminate.
Yeah,
I think the tail should whenever they leave the ground. But when they land, it's good. You get a little curl there. Right when it lands, I think it's really cool. I think that's good. So pro and a con.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. I like the overlapping action, and the squash and the stretch is great, but perhaps draw out the arc a wee bit. Yep. Yeah. I would agree with Tamsin. If we look at that arc, it has that same boxy sort of shape as before in the previous animations. So make sure that arc is really clean. Like when you see Michael Jordan jumping from the free throw line, like he's following a built-in arc. He can't really change his sort of movement like in the air of his core of gravity. Not core of gravity. What am I thinking? Center of gravity. He can't change his center of gravity as much. That's going to go along a straight arc. So these squirrels will be very much the same. Yeah, Benny has a great point. You have a good settle. I don't know why I said settle so weird. You have a great settle towards the end here when on the impact. Boom. We could spice up. We could spice it up a little bit further. So right now, if you look at the core of your squirrel, right? No, look at look at his head region and sort of track that visually from the side right here. Boom, boom, and it goes on a straight diagonal line down left, and then comes up along that same straight diagonal. So it kind of goes, when he lands, he kind of, like that. So instead, what we could do is have him kind of land and then overshoot past that and settle back in on an arc. You guys are going to hear me talk about arcs throughout all the class. So he's going to settle and then kind of circularly settle that head back into his like idle position, So just to add a little bit of interest, a little bit of naturalistic quality to it. But yeah, this is a great great first anim too for the class. Like I love what you guys are doing so far. This is great. I agree with the squash and stretch work really well. I think while it was about to land, you could curve the pose more. Oh, okay. About to land, curve the pose more. Okay, so I'm assuming David's talking about a frame around here. So David is saying maybe curve. I'm thinking curve the spine back a little bit more to land, which definitely could spice it up for sure. I would also say that the tail at this point should be more stretched out and kind of in the air to kind of give it that like you saw in Benny's. Benny had some great overlapping action with that tail. But yeah, so there we go. Let's go to let's move on. Fantastic work, Ray. All right, now we have Shay or Che. And let's play this one. Let's see what we got going on. Oh, okay. Oh, this one's adorable. This one's adorable. Yeah. Great stuff. Yeah. I'm going to open this up to you guys first. Like last time. Don't be afraid to use your voice, guys, and unmute yourselves. It's the fastest way to communicate on here. But if you want to type up some stuff, then go for it.
Those ears are so fucking cute.
Yup. Everyone look at these ears at the end. Y'all see that? Deep, deep. Deep, deep. Ear wiggle adds a lot of personality. Absolutely it does. Absolutely it does. And same with the mouth open. I'd imagine this is like off screen to the left, or like kind of in this space over here. There's like someone that just started opening like a bag of chips at a park or something, and this squirrel heard the noise and then sort of decided to jump over and was like, yes, please, give, please. Just like, you know, cats or dogs or anything, you know. But yeah, I love this. The acting's very cute. Any other comments from y'all? Oh, okay, I'll fill the void then. Yeah, so this is a far kind of, it's more of a horizontal leap, which is completely fine. This is completely fine. And you have a great arc or a great silhouette for the tail, for the overlapping there. You might be able to bring the base of it down a little bit, so right now it's kind of a little bit angular like this. If this is where the base of the tail is, you might be able to stretch it out a little bit like that. But I know that tail rig's a little bit annoying to work with in terms of like trying to get it into the pose that you exactly want. So I completely understand. However, also this pose right here, since they're going into such a horizontal leap, this pose, like the stretching pose before leaving the ground, would be very forward leaning. So you're kind of going like if you're doing a long jump. Hopefully that was all on camera, but you'd go under and forward. So like the line of action of that pose is going to be going forward, like along that arc of the jump. So yeah, there we go. I would say that sort of forward-leaning pose would carry on through this a little bit. He kind of looks like he's just like flying through the air, like kind of straight up, like just like this, or like this, like kind of flying through the air straight like this, which isn't really normal. I think I've only seen that in like the My Hero Academia movie, when like one of those superheroes is just like flexing through the air, you know, like that's what that pose is. It's kind of like drawing on in terms of humor. Fantastic. But yeah, no, this is fucking fantastic. And you got some acting in there at the end. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Thank you. Oh, and you can call me Che or Jan, whatever you want.
Okay. Che it is.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Let me write that note down. All right. Let's see what we got next. It's Che's. I'm going to add a fire on with that because it is fire. We have Grecia. Let's see this. Oh, okay. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, I'm gonna, as always, I'm going to open the floor up to you guys first. If you've got any comments about this.
I think the squash at the beginning and the very end is really well done. Like the anticipation for sure at the beginning is great.
I will 100% agree with that. absolutely amazing anticipation. Really builds up sort of the power that's in there. And any other comments from the class? Any other comments, guys? Don't be shy, because honestly,
I think this one also has.
go on, Tamsin. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No. I thanks. I just think like this one also has like really good like a follow up and a end. It's just like the arc, I think, again.
So this portion right here towards the end, you like this?
Yeah.
This part?
Yeah, I like the squash. Like it goes really deep, I think.
It goes like really deep,
I think
and
the tail's fun.
the tail's amazing because they even managed to get it into that straight shape. I know it's pretty annoying with that rig, but yeah. Oh, there's a little bit of clipping there. Oh, that's an F. Clipping is an automatic F in this class. I'm sorry, guys. All right, let's close out of this. We're not going to look at that. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so the tail clips right there a little bit. But yeah, no, I 100% agree that sort of this pose right here. I don't know. It's just you're like playing with the volume like really good. It's like wow, I fucking love it. This is amazing. Let's see. Thank you for that feedback, Tamsin. But yeah, and then you have this little. It might be hard to see on my screen share, but at home you will probably be able to see the little side to side horizontal wiggle that they kind of get into with, and I think that's wonderfully playful. Like that is so great. Yeah, no, this is fantastic. I like the little curl up with the tail in. Oh yeah, in you guys see how that tail's kind of curling in on itself right there. That's perfect. And then yeah, I would say that the only thing is that the initial speed of this jump right here, leaving the ground, is very fast, but then that momentum kind of stops. They kind of hit the air brakes up in here, and then continue on to the ground. So I would say make that arc a little bit cleaner, give them a little bit more hang time. But I love how like they have like that kind of pose in mid-air up here. Wait, where is it? There we go. Right here, where they get ready to land, right there, like the squirrel's kind of getting the feet out to then receive all that force going back down. So yeah, this is wonderful. I love this. Good work. Nice work, Grecia. All right, we got Tam. I'm guessing that's Tamsin. Tamsin, do you like going by just Tam? Is that good? Nice. Okay. Sounds good.
No, I think that was just a convenience, but like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
That's fine. Oh, okay. Well, whatever you prefer, just let us know. Whatever you prefer. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Tam's good. Yeah.
What was that? Oh, sorry. I thought you said
Tam's
something.
good.
Oh, Tam's good. Okay, awesome. So Tam has nice this one. Okay, I'll let you guys start in. Any thoughts on this one, y'all?
I like the subtle movements it has when it's jumping and its mouth opens, and then when it lands, the head bobs a little bit forward and then goes back to where it's originally at.
Yeah.
Which is like a lot of character.
It's not only a lot of character, it's a lot of good body mechanics in there. I would say that this piece might show some of the most polish that we've seen in terms of just how clean a lot of the arcs are. Like David was saying, this settle kind of coming forward in here, and then Tam's even doing that same arc that I was saying about settling. Instead of just settle back on like one diagonal, kind of settle with a nice arc to that. Fantastic work right there. Any other input from y'all? Any other input?
Kind of like how the body elongates as it comes up. To me, it shows just how much effort this little guy's putting into getting off the ground. And I think it's funny how he barely gets airborne. I think it's great.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he's like, ooh, stretching out real far right there, and he just has so much mass that he's like barely getting off the ground right here. But yeah, and that open this pose right there, with that like,
That's
it's
money.
like, it's amazing. It's like a penguin believing that they can fly and jumping as high as they can, you know, like I would say that we could push that even further. Like if you really want to get into that pose, maybe have the back kind of curved in a little bit. This is like a transition. Wait, let me get more with the camera. Is that if only I could remove my arms. So like something like this, and then also getting these ears up here. If you tuck them back like that, that would kind of sell like the effort and like the speed or kind of lack thereof. But yeah, I think oh man, yeah, no, this is great though. And then amazing settle here, and let's look at the overlapping action of the tail specifically. So the tail sort of sits like during this frame. See how it kind of retains that same curl shape? That shape would kind of get distorted a little bit, right? So like the part of the tail right here, as if we go forward one frame, that, see how it just shifted right there? We kind of lose, like between those two frames, we kind of lose the weight of the tail, you know? So instead of it being right here, one of these controls down here would be rotated a little bit lower, and this tail would kind of sit back here where it was the frame before, to kind of show that it has its own mass and it's hard to move around for that overlap action. But I like the end overlap right here. Right there, yeah. You can see that the tail is following a very nice line right here. This is a great silhouette of showing the speed and landing into the sort of squished down curl right there, right here. But yeah, awesome work, Tam. Awesome work. Anyone else have any other input for Tam? Doesn't look like it. All right, let's go on to On. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Anyone, like always, I'll open up the floor to you guys first. Anyone got some feedback?
I think when he lands, I think a little squish would have been good. Right where he lands. The spin is, oh my god, that spin is great money. I just think the lack of squish kind of threw me off a little bit, because he goes so high in the air, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna squish and just kind of bounces off.
Yeah,
stay solid, and I'm like, oh, and that's fine. So I think the squish would be good.
Yeah, yes. Sell a little bit of, he could even pratfall like this, like he's facing the ground. You go like, whoa, flat to the ground, and then pop back up or something. But yeah, a lot of the effort seems like it was spent more on the spin anyways. So yeah, so this spin is great. Like I love this. It's like it's like On was like, all right, I've done a jump before. Let's spice it up a little bit, you know. And you can see I like that the tail is really following the sort of the action there. On, I know you probably had a lot of trouble controlling how that tail follows that arc, because this is really hard to do with just FK, which is just the rotating controls, you know. I know that's got to be a pain. That's got to be a pain.
Yeah, I tried to erase some keys just in the tail, but then it didn't really work. So I tried to like go around it, and there's parts where it like became frustrating because I couldn't get it to move like the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
And the problem, the basically whenever that's happening like that, like, because you know what that feels like now, that probably means that the rig might not have been built for that sort of action, you know.
Okay.
But see, what we could do as an animator is literally fight every single frame to sort of get it into perfect alignment with where we want that arc to go. It's just so difficult, you know, like especially for like a 1 week assignment, you know, that when you have all the other classes, like that's, but you hit some really good silhouettes in here. Like I love this coming out of the twist right there. Like I like that silhouette. But yeah, some of these leaving frames. Oh wait, let's play it again. Some of these leaving frames, the tail gets like a little bit obscured behind the character. You always want to have a clean silhouette, because when if this were in like a feature animation, we only get to see each shot one time, so our eyes need to be able to perceive exactly what's going on here. So yeah, so we got to have some clean stuff every frame. But yeah, no, this is great though. I love how experimental you got with it, with the this sort of takeoff here. Anyone else have any feedback for On? All right.
Spin.
Oh, Benny?
Spin.
Spin. Benny's feedback is spin, in case everyone was wondering. But yeah, no, that's a great attempt. I love that. Anim Squirrels, shot ready, anim.move. We got this from Yi. Oh yeah, Yi's got, there we go. There. Nice. Well, like always, I'll open it up to everyone. Anyone have some feedback for Yi? Wait, who is this actually? Yi. Oh, okay, I see Yi. I was like, I don't see Yi in the chat. Yeah, I was like, Yi's just lurking in there. Yi was on page 2 of the little Zoom call. Nice. Well, if no one's gonna say anything, I like how I like how sort of malleable the squirrel feels in this. Oh, Diana says, I think the arc is nice. The timing is a little bit slow and consistent. Yeah. So you see like how much airtime this squirrel has throughout here, with sort of the shape of that arc. It kind of comes down to like a diagonal. It's like almost like they're hovering. I'd say this is what the like a short hop from this squirrel would look like on sort of like the moon or something, you know. So it's just like a little bit steady, but I mean, nothing wrong with that. try to animate the tail, but it is tricky. Let's see the tail. Yeah, no, the tail is tricky. And honestly, you might benefit from changing your tangents in Maya. So let me go back into my Maya. And some of the, like if you select all of your controls, beep, beep, right there, Windows, Animation Editor, Graph Editor, you get all of your curves, right? And all of these curves have these tangents, which are these things that are poking off, and we can fuck with those all we want, you know, make some crazy animation. Let's just see what that looks like now. It's gonna look wild. Yeah, insane. But what you can also do is just change these to be, you know, spline tangents, and then that might give them some more naturalistic feel to it, because it looks like you're hitting the good key poses on this. Let's pop up the Discord again. It looks like Yi is hitting some good key poses, but like for instance, right here. Wait, what? Right here. This stand up right here, these frames, specifically these frames, kind of looks like it's just like one pose to another, and the poses themselves look good, but I would adjust maybe the timing a little bit to kind of give it that sort of easier sort of settle back into that pose, you know. You can also adjust those tangents to maybe spline or auto to see if that helps. Let me show you those buttons again. These are your tangents up here. So you'd select all your keys. Then you can either do auto, you can see the kind of effect they give, or spline. And spline kind of gives it a more naturalistic feel. But spline is terrible at hitting a pose and staying there, because it's always going to overshoot. It's going to be like a piece of seaweed in the water. But that's kind of, we might want that for this situation, you know. But overall, great work on that one. It did feel a little bit light and floaty, so maybe adjust the timing of some of those jumping frames. And we'll save that for another animation assignment. This is just get our feet back in the water. Let's see. Next up we have David. Oh, what the shit? Damn, David's just making a whole film, apparently, right here. Man. I'll open this up to you guys first. What's the class thinking? I mean, I see all of y'all's reactions here with this. I like this one. I like that face. David went crazy. And I love the character's action at the end. This one's so much fun. Yes.
It's a yawn for me.
It's a yawn for you? Okay, okay. Nice, nice. The pirouette. Yeah, right? I love that. It's a great pirouette. I really love the arc that the tail specifically takes on that pirouette. Like, look at that. I love how it comes up at the beginning and then brushes the ground. That's fucking exactly what I would like. What I'm looking for. You know, like that's perfect. Like it just, because if you kept it up, it would feel just kind of bland. Giving it that extra texture of kind of swooping across the ground is just perfect. That's exactly like the kind of things that you should be playing with when you're animating. I would say that this initial this arc up here, it's a little bit kind of gravity defying in a way. It almost feels like if you ever played Mario, like one of those thwomps kind of that come down from the ground, they kind of like shake up at the top and then slam onto the ground. This is really thoughtful animation. Like I'm scribbling through again and again. But yeah, so I'd say you could clean up this a little bit because kind of hits this wall right here. Yeah, I don't mean like a physical wall, but like it feels like something is stopping that scroll from continuing on that arc right here. But he does look like he's kind of like like slamming down like some sort of barbarian. Like that's what I get out of that. And then it does look like a yawn. Yeah, I feel like he is giving a yawn right here. So it's like kind of like a cat that just woke up from like a nap and jumped off the nest. Sorry, all my things are gonna be related to cats because like that's what I see walking around the apartment all the time. I feel like there should be a dinosaur roar at the end. I agree. But yeah, there's a lot of great stuff in this one. Yeah. I'd say that this sort of twisting action, because he does like the spin and then starts like twisting back and forth. I think you can get rid of one of those twists back and forth and just, if it is a yawn, then kind of go for like just one stretch, like a subtle like that. But if it's a roar, then I would say instead of getting off to the side like this and let's go back to that pose. Instead of getting like because that tail is kind of being pulled out and away, and they're kind of going to the side. Man, I'm just yawning a lot watching this. Like so, if they're yawning to the side, then or if they're leaning to the side with this open mouth, that's going to read more like a yawn than a roar. A roar is kind of like more like forward. So if it's like that sort of like type of feeling rather than like because that can read as a yawn. It can read as like maybe pain too, like something like that. So be careful with like what you're trying to convey with the scene and with your posing, because posing is 100% what is going to like sell the mood and the acting of the character, you know. But yeah, fucking fantastic work though. I love this. Yeah, I like the little end into the smile at the end. Like he's just very proud of himself. But yeah, awesome work, David. Anyone? Before we go, does anyone else have any other comments? Any suggestions? Any input? All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Next, we got Sammy. Let's see what. Oh, my computer just froze for a second. Let's see what Sammy's got. Boom. Oh yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. 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 I love the tail. The tail has like really good overlap right here. Like I love these poses and how it overshoots just a little bit. Like that's wonderfully executed. I would say maybe add a little bit of time between. Oh no, my computer's freezing again. Wow. Okay. Add a little bit of extra time between that little crunch pose and then the back to idle pose. Get a little bit more time in there because it does feel a little bit quick, but I love the sort of posing throughout here on that tail. That's great. I would say this is just a really good like textbook sort of jump as well. I think you might be suffering from the same issue that I think it was Benny was having with where the arc that it's following is a little bit triangular. If we plot that out with our eyes, kind of goes up diagonally left, over, and then sort of down on a diagonal. I want that to be sort of a clean arc. But yeah, and it's got great squash, great stretch. Maybe could use a bit more stretch on this side right here, just a little bit. Actually, no, I'd say it's a good amount. Maybe, what's feeling? Oh, it might maybe kind of follow. Yeah. The tail would need a little bit more follow through there. Overlap. Sorry, my bad. We need a little bit more overlap right there to sell that sort of that jump. Also, it kind of almost slows out of that. So like there's a bit like one or two few frames or one or two mini frames where it kind of leaves the ground and the spacing is a little bit too close together between each frame. So I would get it to have a little bit more of a pop out of that first jump. So it would just kind of leave the ground rather than kind of whoop. It gives it like a little bit of floaty feeling. And if you want to really play with that, then let's see if we can, let's look at my tangents. My tangents, you can see that my tangents are doing the same thing. Oh, are we lagging with Zoom? Oh, is there a lag on Zoom right now? Do you guys see me and Maya? Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, we see. It was my attempt at a bad. Ignore me.
Oh, okay. All right, it's all good. So let's see. Oh, I'm lagging on my computer. Wow. Okay, there we go. We're good. So you can see in my curves, like look at my base curve right here. This is the jump, right? And this is the y-axis only, up and down. And you can see that I'm slowing out, which is, we should clean that up. So if we wanted to get a really clean arc of that jump, boom, you'd select both of these keys right there and see how they're smoothing out. That's got to be because of the tangents, right? That controls how they go through. If we switch it to spline, it's going to look squishy. You can see it's going to go under and up. You see how it kind of sags into there because of this little bad boy right there. See how that Y curve now is going underneath 0. So then in our viewport, you can see that we're going underneath the floor plane, which is no good. Instead what we're looking for, because before we had just auto tangents, we're looking for linear tangents right here. Boom. See that? See how it's now sharper going out of the ground right there? So you could do that, and you could even go as far as to, where is it? Go up here to break tangents. Bah! Blasphemy. You'll see now that these tangents are a little bit dotted lined. And what that means is that you can control each side of it individually. So if we wanted to really get some pop out of that ground, we could drag over this. And then I'm just going to press W after dragging over that tangent. And I'm middle click dragging. See that? Ooh, so we could get these to be spicy. We could get these to be popping out of that ground like nobody's business. And in fact, these keys over here probably won't make any sense anymore. See how they're kind of destroying that nice clean arc? So I could just straight up delete those. Boom. Right there. Let's get this right there. So now the bottom is probably going to go at a pretty nice pop. Boom. So see how quickly the bottom is leaving. Bah, 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 bah. So yeah, that might be something to experiment with too on your guys' end. But like I said, this is a just starting assignment. Anyone else have any other input for Sammy before we move on? All right then. Next we got Ricardo bouncing Boy Delgado. Oh, dang, okay. Anyone got any, I'm gonna open it up to you guys first on this one. Diana's input is that tail, in all caps. which is pretty much how I feel as well. This might be the most polished tail movement that we've seen. Yeah, that tail movement looks very natural. Exactly, right? Look, Ricardo's gone through each of those in sort of, oh yeah, no, because that's a hard rig to sort of control for that movement, to get a clean arc that it follows and then springs back into. But Ricardo's done a very good job with that. Looks very, very convincing, very realistic, you know.
Thank you.
Really conforms to physics there. Chef's kiss that tail. I would say we could benefit a little bit from having, because right now his anticipation for the jump is kind of like he kind of like throws himself like that with his head. But I'd like to see a little bit more like dipping down, leaning forward a little bit to get that jump going in there. See how he kind of like goes back into his head right there and then jumps out. I like a little bit of a lean forward to kind of convince us of the momentum that's going. I do like how you raised up the sort of feet. I'm going to say feet, the body in preparation for that landing. But yeah, that's just amazing work though. And you even had a little bit of overlap on the ears when you land and throughout the sky. Like that's paying attention to a lot of different things. Like this is some good stuff, Ricardo. Yeah, no, I love the bounce at the end too for the settle. Right here, boom. You see that? It's not only one bounce, it's like a sort of multiple thing. So it kind of sells the gelatinous nature of that squirrel, you know. So boom, boom, boom. And then he has a little head tilt at the end. A little head tilt. I would say maybe direct that head tilt towards where the cam is going to be. So you go like, like kind of like looking almost at the viewer just to like engage a little bit more. That'd be cool. Something like that. If we're gonna go with that little playful aspect. But yeah. Any other input for Ricardo, everybody? Sorry, my Zoom keeps dying, so I might be repeating what everyone said, but I really dig tail animation, takeoff and landing. But maybe slow it down a smidge and lengthen the arc. There's some great overlapping. Oh yeah, okay. So slow, let's see. I could see that the speed at which they leave the ground is a little bit faster than when they hit the ground again. Right here, see that? So a leap out and then kind of it's almost like they're going towards through molasses a little bit towards the end. So I think Tam might be picking up on some of that right there. You slow down the smidge and lengthen the arc. Yeah, I could definitely see that. So I would say either speed up the ending a little bit, like before the impact. Like in this sort of area, speed it up a little bit, I'd say.
Okay.
Oh wait, to be honest, I'm watching again. It's just timing. Yeah, it's more just time. Well, Tam's also picking up that like timing is directly related with speed, right? So there might be like one or two keys like in this area that could be removed towards the bottom. But yeah, just make sure that arc's clean. But yeah, this is fucking fantastic though. We're just kind of nitpicking this one. Like
it's all good. Any little thing to make it improve is good.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the mentality. That's how you make them gains. That's how you make them gains, dude. Very nice. Very nice. All right, and then our final submission is Diana. So let's check this out. Oh, it's a cute little bounce. Just a little hop. I love this. Just a little scrappy squirrel. Yeah, great. I love the it's a really snappy one. It's just fast, but it's sweet, you know. Right there. Yeah, no, this is great. You're selling all the stuff. Only thing I'd say is that the tail kind of it's in that hook shape throughout all of it. So you're gonna want to play with some of those controls in there to really sell the almost like string-like nature of that tail. But yeah, this is great. Yeah, wonderful amount of bounce. Yeah, it's very cute. You even framed it really cute. The wide shot gives you some sort of feeling. Yeah, right. It's like a slice of life sort of shot for this squirrel. Like there we'd see the park in the background. We'd see some sort of, I don't know, whatever he's going for here. He's just like, oh, yeah, this is what I want. I'm a squirrel. Very nice. But yeah. Fucking good shit, guys. Good shit. Round of applause. Not only for Diana, but for everyone. Let's get some claps in the chat. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing in here. Like this is some good stuff. I wish I had friends like you when I went to Long Beach. Because it'd be sick to have someone else that was animated in 3D. Like this is great stuff, guys. Wait, yeah, I don't think I told you guys. I went to Long Beach for my schooling as well. So I mean you can be our friend now. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it all worked out in the end. But yeah. But yeah, no, I went to Long Beach as well. And I took John Finch's class. I think a lot of you guys came from his. So I was one of his OG students in there. So yeah, it's nice to be part of the system again. Oh my god, yeah, Finch is great. Yeah, Finch is just so chill. I love Finch. He's great. But yeah, so that was the first assignment. You guys all submitted it already because I mean I can see all of them right here. So that I couldn't participate much because my English is not good enough. I want to say everyone's work is me. Yeah, Che, you did yours was great too. I love. I'm glad that you were just able to give us that piece to kind of to show us like that's fantastic work. But yeah, so everyone submitted up and that assignment is done. Good work, guys. Good work. All right. Let me go. So if we look at our syllabus online, I'm not going to pull it up. Who wants to see that boring shit? What we have next is the walk cycle, right? And I know, guys, it's a walk cycle. We've done a lot of them. We do one in computer animation 1 most likely. If you've got experimental, you can animate whatever you wanted. But we're going to do a walk cycle. And there's something I want to show you guys though. So let's pull this up. Do I have it open? No. Shit. Interesting. Sorry, I got distracted. 1 second. Pull up the right video. This. Oh my god. Let me mute that so y'all don't have to hear the stepping.
Hello.
Wow.
In this video.
No! There we go. Sorry about that. if that was just blasting you hellos. This one was going around the animation community a lot, and you can definitely see why. So we're going to be doing a walk cycle as our next assignment. But I want you guys to not go with something like this or something like this. I don't want you guys to do that. Let's get a little bit experimental with it. Like, you can do a sneak, definitely sneak. Angry, see how his posing right there. Hands are in fists, all the way back at his sides, forehead leaning out, like he's ready to get punched in the face because he's in fight mode. Chimpanzee, because they walk fucking weird as shit. Sassy, you got that hip sway, you have the arcs that the arms are taken, it's a little bit on the sides, you know. Very, very open, sort of confident posing, you know, because they're sassy, you know, they know they're all that. Dancer, got some graceful movement there. Secret Run, that's from Ferris Bueller. Got Zombie. Oh fuck, could we have this link dropped in Discord? You got it. Wait, let me share it without the timestamp. Boom, right there. Bang. I'll put this in the art sharing channel as well, because this is art. But yeah, so for this assignment, we're gonna be doing walks, right? And my first piece of advice for when you guys are animating something is to absolutely grab reference. It's not cheating. It's not fucking cheating. It's like imagine if a life drawing was cheating because you're like looking at like a model on the stage and drawing from it. Like, no, like this is absolutely necessary. Like, let me close all my Google Chrome windows because it's probably eating away at my memory. Wow. There we go. This is the one. But yeah, so he's got so many walks in here, guys. Like you can take any one of these. Yeah, robot, stiff arms. On vacation, everything's really relaxed. What speaks to me most about this one is like the overlap of the arms. They don't care about anything in the world, so they got those just overlapping arms in there. Old man. See, old man, I feel like would be sold better with a cane, but then that involves prop animation. It's a little bit difficult to pull off. Hippie, laid back. Look at this. Look at that line of action for hippie. Look at that. Just the line of action is just bending back into that frame like that. This person does not care about anything. Throw up the peace sign. You can do that too. Timid, very drawn in, very, very close. Some of these remind me of Sims walks. Yeah, I would not be surprised if they just, after seeing this video, strapped this guy up in a mocap suit and just got him to do all their animation for him. We have Mummy, that outstretched Frankenstein monster. I really like that following up Mummy, so you can see two different takes on like beasts, you know. This one's outstretched, and this one is very similar, but you can see that just changing those arms to kind of being down makes it just feel like a different monster. In the dark, very cautious. Skip, I'm not as convinced by Skip. I feel like the posing on his ups, like he's kind of just going like forward, like, oh, damn it, I wish this was in person. No. Oh my God, I'm putting this down. Like his he's like right like that, but instead like a Skip is more joyful. So I feel like he'd be going. I feel like on the ups, your sort of spine would be bending backwards with joy, you know, like you'd be getting one of those poses, like one of these, arms raised up maybe. So make sure you're being discerning when you choose a walk to do. Also, if you have someone that's as big of a dork like myself, or yourself in the private of your own home, you can film yourself doing these actions and use that as reference. And I suggest that because I don't know, it gets you, one, it kind of breaks your, what is it? It breaks your like self-conscious part of yourself. So you won't be like, oh, people are going to think I'm weird. Like, no, we're already beyond that. Like, like animators are all weird. So the sooner we face that, the better. You'll get some good reference there. If you look at my Google Drive, there is literal hours of reference of me doing stuff for either Sony or for back when I was in college or back for my new game. Like pretty much for everything I film reference. And even on my Twitter, you can see how we used reference of ourselves being filmed. It's pretty solid. But yeah, bad posture. I don't know if that's quite a character. Good posture, that'd just be more like confident. Runway model, very similar to good posture, but instead you have a lot more side to side on those shoulders, side to side on the hips. So it's going to be a lot of that. Creeper, just walking dick first. That's definitely a creepy choice. Sore back, yep, absolutely holding on to that. Really kind of pinpointing. Teen hooligan. But yeah, this list just keeps going on. Cowboy, holding onto the belt buckle. Man. Scuba diver with like big flippers on. Waiter. When I think waiter, I would kind of, instead of this, I like how I'm giving him animation feedback on like a real movement, but but this is kind of like how I think, you know, I'll try to get the line of action of the chest more upright, and maybe raise the nose a little bit to make him like a little bit of a snooty waiter, you know, like he's just like, miss, like I'm at a dinner party. I don't think they carry the plate that quite as high either. I think they would keep it kind of chest height, you know, like he's kind of keeping it above his shoulder. But I'm just kind of like, miss. So I don't know, kind of think of that stuff while you're looking at reference, guys, you know, like think about what this would look like on a character, you know. Marionette, oh my God, that would be really hard to try to sell in 3D for like one of your first walk cycles, because that's you have to sell the physics of like strings kind of pulling everything along, you know, and that's gonna be that would be hell. I don't recommend anyone take that one. Tight rope, that was cool. Strong man on hot coals. Oh, I like that. That one's good. On hot coals is really fun. Fainting. Oh God. Ultimate Fighter. For Ultimate Fighter, I feel like you should just look up Conor McGregor walking out, because he has all of the cockiness that you would think of in an Ultimate Fighter. Old timey fighter, yeah. Dance fight. Things are getting spicy. Sword fight, yeah, I like that. Mime. Oh, that's fucking amazing. Pushing. Pushing, I'm not really. In order to actually sell this pose, you know, you'd need a line of action where one of his feet is planted back there and pushing against something. Like the reason this one doesn't read as well is because he's not actually physically pushing against the surface, you know. But yeah, so he would definitely, his line of actions would be a lot clearer if it was. Cold, very nice, very nice. But basically, there's a shit ton of options for you guys. Like there's a lot in there. So the goal of the assignment is to sort of get some character into our walk cycles, you know. And I'm going to show you guys. I'll just do one of them briefly. I believe on our syllabus. Let's pop it open. Page 47. Syllabus. Syllabus. Yeah. So we have this week. We're going to be doing all this stuff. Next week, we're going to come back. You guys will have a play blast of all of it. And then we'll just watch everyone's in progress walk cycles. And then everything's due the class after that. So February 9th at the start of class is when these are due. And it's gonna be great. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Just having everyone pick something. Hopefully you guys don't double up on all these. There are 100 of them, so I'm sure you guys can pick and choose what you want. And like I said, if you want to do something, if you have something in your mind, or if this guy doesn't quite execute on something you want to do, then absolutely 100% film yourself doing it. We're going to go on break soon. So I'd like you guys to select a clip or film it right during our break. I'll break for a little bit longer. I'll break till probably 6:30-ish, or maybe longer, because I also want you guys to select a rig from Beachboard. So if you log on to Beachboard, let me pull this over here. Here we go. So in the rigs folder, there's a bunch of different rigs that you can grab, and it doesn't look like anything right now, but it's like it's a Maya file, like .mb or something. Or this Osri is, I think it's a zip folder that you then unzip everything and import that into Maya. Same with Malcolm, same with Mary. But you guys might be like, well, what the fuck are these? So let me pull up some pictures. So Osri is this one. I'm just gonna drag these all into Discord so you guys can see. Downloads. Osri. I'm putting this in the free rigs folder because these are what we're dealing with. Rigs are just the characters that we control. Osri. So that's what Osri looks like. Let me drag in the rest of them as well. Malcolm. Malcolm looks like that. Kind of has like a little bit of a goobery face, but like really fun to play with, I'm sure. We have Stuart. Upload. And we have Mary. So there's 4 of them right there for you guys. Also on Beachboard, though, in that same rigs folder, there's a collection of great rigs. So if we open this link up, you can see that it has basically a bunch of rigs from different sources. You can see that some of them are free, like Luna rig, that's free. A lot of them are already on here. We have this Ray guy. We have Caroline. And there's a bunch of stuff down there as well. You can also find, let's see, is it posted in there already? This top link, Gumroad, Pier Key. I'm just gonna, you can see that he has a Samus rig. Ricardo animated on that one last semester, so he could tell you if it's a pain or not to set up. I believe it was a pain. Wasn't it hard to kind of set up, Ricardo?
A bit. You had to like, every time you opened it, you have to like turn on something.
Oh, that's kind of annoying.
But it's a fun rig.
It's a badass rig though, like honestly. So that's available. Just follow that that link in Discord. What is it, Chris?
Oh yeah, just to remind, there's a page that comes with the Samus rig that explains how to actually use it. So you got to find that in the files.
Yeah, a lot of things that we install as well will have a sort of link or like a README or something that tells you how to install it. I'm also going to include this guy's. This guy has some fucking amazing rigs as well. A lot of them are free as well, or not free. So I'll go into that as well. So you can go to that website. I recommend everyone does because he has some super sick rigs on there. You can see him on my screen right now. He's got Zelda. He's got Link. He's got Breath of the Wild Zelda. Breath of the Wild Link. He's got Ruby Rose. Don't know what that is. Michiru. Yeah, he's got a bunch of stuff, but a lot of these are at $0, right? So what you can do is you can click on them and then say that you're going to pay $0 for it. And it feels a bit scummy because like some artists worked really hard on that, but at the same time, we are just students, you know, so it's for educational purposes. Like we're not profiting off it. And honestly, students have pretty rough financial situations too. So so I'm sure they understand, but like, yeah, this guy's like a treasure trove of amazing rigs that you can go on there. And maybe if you use one of these rigs and get a job from an animation reel, maybe you can go back and throw this guy a sick buck or two, you know, kind of, you know, say thanks for having a fantastic collection of characters. Or also just follow him on Twitter. Because this guy is a badass. And you can usually they retweet a lot of stuff that's like animated with his characters. Yeah, like this. So you can just see some cool animes that other people have done. Like you can see what's possible with these characters. Oh my God. I fucking love animation Twitter. All right, I'm not gonna show any more of this because like I'm just gonna get sidetracked. Like little walk side. All right, yeah. So dig through all those rigs. Find a rig that you want to use. Also find a walk that you want to use and have that clip pulled up and ready to go because we're gonna be studying it. The animation community on Twitter is so talented, TBH. Yeah, well, let's join it then. Let's be talented ourselves, guys. And I know y'all have what it takes too, from what I've seen, just from that squirrel assignment. Like y'all are kicking some ass. So let's keep the ass kicking going. But yeah, so we're gonna go on break now. I'll give you an extra 10 minutes. So I'll be back at 6:35. And then we'll start animating. We'll start animating these characters. Yeah, awesome. All right, so choose a rig, choose a walk that you're gonna do, or film your own. Either one works. All right, see you guys. recording. So we have to watch out for this stuff on the rigs. Like right now, the arms are FK right here, and that's gonna be completely fine for a lot of us. But just as a refresher, what FK means is that you can only rotate these controls. You can't really move them. There might be some movable, like if I press W, we might be able to pull this shoulder out. Oh, well, I guess this one you can't. Some of them you can pull them and then they get stretched out, and it's like, why would you even want that functionality really? What it's there for is to cheat some poses to the camera angle if you need to really fudge something, but we won't worry about that. Just remember that FK is rotation only. So you can only rotate these controls. That's what FK does. What I would like to know though is if there's a way to switch to IK, because IK, let's see, I move the foot. IK is like this. See how I'm just moving the foot in space, and then the knee figures out where it needs to go. That's what IK is. So that's IK is for using movement and rotation to pose out a character. FK is using rotation only. Now, commonly you'll keep your feet in IK, right? Because these feet are always going to be planting on the ground. Every step, they're going to be making contact with that ground. And we want to really sort of solidify that, right? So we're going to keep those in IK a lot. A time when you would turn that into FK is, say you were doing a shot of someone jumping out of an airplane and skydiving, right? Those feet are no longer making contact with the ground. They're going to be doing a lot of pirouettes and cool motions in the sky. You definitely want some FK for that because it's going to track your arcs really well. At least when you're spinning. So it's a lot of spinning, like jumping sort of motions. You might snap to FK for all the frames that they're in the air and then snap back to IK. That is a common practice. Let's see if the hands have some. How do you bring a rig into Maya again? Oh yeah, let's cover that first. Well, let me say actually no, this is a messed up scene anyways. Let me test one thing real quick. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of the times in your channel box over here, there'll be a little IK channel. And it might be on, or it might say on or off or 0 or 1. And just know that you can just switch this to 0 to go back to like FK or like that. That's just a binary channel, right? Like if you see an IK channel in there, you can just be like on or off, 0, 1, and then you'll be able to switch between them. But as far as getting a rig into your scene again, this will be a good refresher. I'm going to go to File, New Scene. Don't save. I suggest that, so I downloaded my rig, right, from either Beachboard or from one of the, like Gumroad, wherever you got it. And it's going to show up like a zip file like this, Malcolm V200. What you do is you right click. I always do extract to folder, and then it makes this folder right there. So it just unzips the file basically. Next step is I'm going to Control X or maybe Command X on a Mac. That's most likely what it is. That means cut. So I'm going to cut that folder because I don't want it to be in my downloads anymore. I would prefer it to be in my course materials. I'm going back to that project folder we made at the start of class, Art 427, Computer Animation 2, Springs, and I'm going to put that into my scenes folder right there. So exactly where we're saving Bouncing Boy, that's where we're going to save the rig as well. So I'm going to Control V or Command V on a Mac to paste that folder in there. So now that we have that sitting in there, right? And we could just go to File, Open Scene, and open up the rig, but then you're animating directly on the rig. Normally that's a practice that we don't want to do. So instead, I'm going to go, actually I'll wait a little second for everyone to get all those their rig into the scenes folder. Yeah, just make sure that's in that hierarchy that has all these little things in it, and then make sure you're in scenes and you drop that in there. So now that we have that ironed out, I'm going to go to File and Create Reference. Make sure you're in a fresh scene. Make sure you do File New and Create Reference. Boom. And then we go and reference in that rig file. It'll be a .ma or a .mb within that whatever we downloaded. You'll be able to find it in there. And then we just reference that in. And you'll notice Malcolm takes a while to load up. It's a fat rig. You guys might have a more lightweight rig, so that's absolutely fine.
Hey, Mike, my thing says that it might have lots of data importing in. Is that normal?
Which rig is it?
I'm doing the Zelda.
Okay. I don't think anyone had any problems with that last semester, so I think you should be good to go. Just press OK and then check if they just like click on some of these controls and just start rotating them. See if they rotate properly. Make sure everything's like bound to the skeleton in here. And it should be, but you know, you never know. Does it seem like it's working?
Yeah, it seems like it's working perfectly fine.
Awesome. Well, I think the data loss, I feel like sometimes they can be using like an older material or something. Like one for mental ray. I know mental ray can cause some problems for our scene, but it's nothing that's like a game changer. You know, you can always just render it out still, like, and just continue on like nothing happened.
All right. And adding textures in is going to be something I can just do later on. That I don't have to do the textures right now, correct?
They should come with the model. So press 6 for me and see if they're on there.
No, I got textures in a separate folder.
Okay.
But it's just a darker gray.
On the Zelda rig, where is the rig located? Oh, I don't know. I could download it for you and yeah, I'll download it on my end. Check out email address, yet get content. Zelda project. All right, I'll switch over to the Zelda rig just so I don't want anyone to get left behind, you know, on the rig step. So let's see. Extract to Zelda project. So I have this folder, Sammy. Oh wait, no, that's not Sammy. That's Diana. So we got this folder right here, Diana. And I'm just going to cut it, and then I'm going to go to my scenes folder in the project, 147 scenes, and there we go, paste it in. And since Benny's working with this one too, I think it'll be beneficial. And I'm going to do File, New Scene. Don't save. And on this one, I'm going to File, Create Reference, Zelda Project 1. Mesh. It says mesh only. Let's see. Let's just give it a go. Reference. Let's see this. Let's see if this looks good. Again, I haven't worked with this rig directly, so I don't know if it's the rig. Yep, that looks like it. That looks like it. Oh yeah. Oh, you've got face controls. Nice. Nice. Let's see. These are on IK. Guessing this gear is probably IK FK switch. Yep, looks like it. Yep, very nice. So Diana, did you find that? Like I can open up the reference editor to show you right here. It is in that Zelda project folder, mesh Zelda V001_008. Were you able to find that on your side, Diana? All right, so we are good to go. As soon as you reference that in, and then I'm pressing 6 and I'm seeing exactly what Benny is seeing. And sure, I'll just do my animation with this character. I do like Zelda. I'm a Zelda fiend after all, so it's only fitting. What's this? So yeah, guys, you'll see a bunch of extra shit that we don't really need. Like there's going to be a lot of extra controls in here. Keep in mind that your channel blocks, which you can find up here in the top right, and it pops up on your little sidebar right here. If you're ever confused as to what a control is, you can click on it, boom. And then you can also see just like if there's any extra controls. Sub-control, I don't know what that is. Let's see. I'm gonna click on that channel. It's probably binary, I would imagine. Yep. So it's like an extra control that visits in, and you can get a little bit of tilt in there like that. Okay, cool, cool. I'm gonna leave that off. We don't need that. But yeah, and this goes for every single rig you guys have downloaded. You'll see this gear FK IK. I'm gonna leave this in FK. So since it's FK IK, it'd be 0 for FK, 1 for IK. Remember, FK is rotation only. So now my arms will only my arms literally lock us out of moving them, and we can only rotate them. Not everything will behave that way, but I just want to make sure you guys are able to animate with the proper controls that you want. And this cog up here looks like you have a bunch of different geometry to viz on and viz off. So if we type 1 into any of these, it'll probably turn on something. Hell yeah, got it. Got the old master sword right there. So sword control viz. Yeah, so you just get a bunch of nice. Oh man, this is like a bendy sword. Oh yeah. Frick. So you can basically, yes, yeah, these rigs are super dope, guys. These are super dope. So you can bend these bad boys if you have like a lot of fast moving stuff. You might be able to stretch it out. Yep, just as I thought. So instead of doing like a sword trail, you could just kind of fake it in the animation. So yeah, now awesome stuff on the part of this dude. Let's see.
That's okay. All right, I figured out what was missing from mine. That sword.
That's
didn't load in for me. It's all right. It's not necessary.
It's yeah. We're just doing the walk. Really, that's weird. Just didn't load in. Are you sure it's on this right here? This cog. If you click this cog.
Let me try.
You can see sword geo viz and sword control viz in the channel box.
I see it. They all say 0.
So yeah, if you set them to 1, then they'll pop into the scene.
Oh, I'm stupid.
No, don't you dare say that about one of my students. Yeah, for the textures though, let's see if we can get those working. So in your display layers down here, this is in the channel box / layer editor.
Yeah.
You can see your mesh is on reference. So let's turn that off. So it's no longer on reference. So now we can select that bad boy. And I'm just gonna hold right click on like this main body.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go to material attributes to see what material they have going on there. Material attributes right there. All right, so their color is forwarding to, oh, whoops. There we go. Dark diff. Zelda diff. Oh, okay, I see. So just to go over those steps again for Diana and Benny, hold right click, material attributes, and then look at the color channel because you'll have everything kind of linked up in here. We can go to color, and it was not intended, but it was. And see how it's forwarding to this random location on here?
Yeah.
E models. So that's where it got broken, you know. So I'm wondering, because they had, let's see if we can do some magic, because I saw a file in this folder. Textures, workspace. See this workspace file, sometimes you can do some crazy shit if they set it up right, where you can drag and drop it into the scene. And then things get linked up again. If they lost their connection, doesn't look like it worked. Let me just file, I'm gonna save the scene as test animation. There. I'm going to try something else. I'm going to file open scene, and I'm going to open up that Zelda project scene directly. I'm going to open up workspace Mel. So it didn't do anything. So if I file, maybe if I create the reference in this scene, then it might work. Yeah, I think those connections are just going to be lost, unfortunately. So yeah, you can just forward to them again. I'm going to my channel box. I'm going to turn off that reference layer so I can select this mesh. Hold right click material attributes. If it doesn't pop up right then, you can just do material attributes again. I'm going to click this color, and I'm going to go to this file, Zelda diff PNG. I'm going to forward it to our Zelda diff PNG. There's it. It's in scenes. Sorry, there, textures, Zelda diff, right there, open. There we go.
Nice, okay.
And you'll have to one by one do that for each object in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they'll come in eventually, and then you can
okay.
Feel free to animate. But like you don't need to do that right now. We're just gonna be working on like our animation, you know.
Right.
Okay. Anyone else having issues with their rig coming into the scene? Diana, did you get that the file that we imported was kind of trying to look for those texture files in a different place, like on someone else's computer almost. I hope that made sense. I'm sure she got it. But yeah, so basically every rig is going to have some sort of switch from IK to FK. Make sure you're always looking in your channel box to see where that is. And you can see a lot of like quick channels in here. So if I click on this little gear, still a little confusing, but I can figure that out later. Yeah, I can talk more about materials later on, because that's just forwarding to a channel in a material for that that object. So I want to make sure you guys know that sort of concept anyways. So I can talk about that later, probably a different class, maybe next class, because we're just going to be doing more refining our work next class. But yeah, so a lot of these controls will have extra, you know, like goodies on it, you know. So like this little grip channel, you can click and drag here to kind of like toggle it on and off. But I like clicking on the word sometimes, and then middle click and dragging in the scene, and you can kind of get a nice little difference in there. Let's see, bend. What does bend do? Nothing discernible, at least. And stretch, that's got to be for some crazy animation, but we're just gonna be doing basic stuff. So let's make sure that all of our arms are in FK, guys. So find the control that says FK on here. So FK IK, that'll be, if I put 0 into that channel, that'll make sure we're on FK mode. And you can double check if you're in FK or not by telling if you can just rotate the whole arm from the shoulder like this or not. All right. All right, y'all. Also definitely make sure that your feet are in IK, because we're doing walk cycles. Those are going to be on the ground at all times. So definitely make sure about that. But yeah, so we're going to start animating, guys. All right, make sure. Oh, that's cool. Comes with a little toggle for all the controls, so you don't have to turn it off in the show up here. That's nice. That's nice. All right, so let's start with how we just kind of animate in general. And you guys got the premise down clearly from the squirrel animations that we saw. But we're dealing with the whole body now. We got so many limbs, so many arms, so many torso controls, and that's where all the fun exists, guys. So let's go into, let me find that 100 walks. I want to try a little bit of tightrope walking. I want to do a little bit of that. I'm not going to get through the whole animation probably, because the animating takes a long time. I want you guys to be working on your end. But let's just look at this animation for a little bit. Yeah, that's good. I like that. And like I don't know, the magic of animation is just, it's different in 3D than it is to 2D, in my opinion. Because in 2D, it's all about like these drawings coming together to form like this nice fluid movement and stuff. But in 3D, it's like, it's about fighting how dead this character looks to begin with, right? Like this character like is not moving at all. Kind of just is in one place. Kind of hard to like see that they're alive. And that's our purpose as an animator, is to make that, to breathe the life into this character. And I'd say the most important way to do that is with posing and acting. Like the pose, your poses communicate so much about your mental state and everything. So I'd say that the first step is to just start getting those key poses in there, right? Let me close this. Let me close this as well. I'm just trying to close as many programs as possible because I don't want to slow down. Wow. There we go. Close down substance. Close down dolphin. And there we go. So yeah, so our source video is right here. It'd be sweet if I could just like crop this part of the video from YouTube, but yeah. So let's start looking at the posing, right? Now, for a walk cycle, you're gonna have your 8 main poses that make up that walk cycle. Let's pull that up. So this should be a common image to you guys by now, but this is from Richard Williams's book, The Animator's Survival Guide or Survival Kit. And it just basically breaks down the walk cycle into its main sort of poses, right? You have the contact where your feet are most extended from each other, down where that front leg is trying to support all that weight, and then passing where that leg that was in the back is now kind of going towards the front, up where you get off the ground a little bit. You can look at your waist kind of going up there and contacting again, right? Now, if we look at this guy, tightrope, it's probably going to be a little bit different, right? So tightrope, look at this guy's waist. On Y, like up and down, it's not changing too much. It might change a little bit in between those steps. And it's because he's trying to keep insane amounts of balance, right? So basically, the best tip is to pay attention to your reference. Nail the key poses of that reference, and then just dial that in, right? So let's get started a little bit on this. I'm going to go in here, and let's just start with our first key pose. Now, I do wish that clip was a little bit longer. Unfortunately, it's not. But let's start with, I want to start with I want to start on a pose like this. I want to start with his contact. Notice how his foot starts coming back to the ground and then makes contact right there. He's got a line of action kind of going this way with his torso. And his arms are pretty outstretched, open palms. Be sure to get those hand poses in there. Just the main ones. You don't have to have a huge amount right now. So let's start doing that. So let's get that line of action in there. Also note that since he's walking along a tightrope, his feet can't stray from that middle line. This might only be my animation that I would do this on, but I would go in and create a cube, scale that up. Let's do that, scale that to 8. And then move that down to -4. That way it's completely resting on the middle there. And just scale this out, you know. That way we know, like, we have a guide to see what we're trying to walk on, you know. And let's get posing. So I'm just going to move this this back foot. Back foot would be her left foot right here, right here, right here. Boom. Now let's see. Our problem is that leg only has a certain amount of stretch, right? As I bring it further back, it raises up in the air. The reason is because, like, those are physical legs pretty much. Like we can't extend our leg past like where our foot is, you know, like we can't just stretch it out. So instead what we need to do to compensate and hit that pose is to bring our waist down. This, very nice. Now let's look at what that other leg is doing. So it's extending in front and coming down with that outside ridge sort of tilted out to the right. So let's just get that pose in there. Something like this. Right there. And then our torsos, because this character's not like confident right now. They're like struggling. They're gonna be back. It's kind of like a defensive maneuver, you know. Each step is gonna be kind of throwing off their balance, so they want to be counterbalancing that, you know. So let's get a nice line of action going backwards. And I like to rotate stuff from the core, but let's see. Oh, this one. So we might have an IK spine happening right here. Let's see it. Oh, weird. I haven't seen a control like this. That's interesting. Okay, well, I'll let it rock. Let's see, what is this? My pen. See, like messing with all these controls is just going to take time, guys. So make sure you understand how to move each part of the character. Let's see. Here we go. What is this part though? Sub-control. Interesting. Okay. So this chest control specifically doesn't have an IK switch, it seems. Let's check this top gear, see if it does. Because normally I would treat that as an FK chain, right? Like we just rotate that bottom one. Imagine like rotating that bottom pivot of the bottom pivot of that tail rig for the squirrel. Short props, okay. All right. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have anything, but we can control like the sort of tilt of it and then the tilt of both these bottom and the top. Ooh, that's just everything. Let's not do that. The top right here. So I'm going to get a nice line of action sort of leaning back, right? Let's match that sort of pose in that reference video. I'd say that I could go a bit further back right here with both the foot and the core. Oops. Right here. There we go. All right. And then I'm going to outstretch these arms to the side, kind of get that off balance sort of pose. And that's why I love that video, is that he has a lot of really good posing in there. A lot of really effective posing. I'm also going to rotate this in a little bit. And let's see, that's for the bracelet, I believe. And it's just going to take time to familiarize yourself with these controls, right, guys? But I mean, once we know what does what, we're gonna be able to take off. Like this. All right, so just match your pose of your character. A lot of times you'll have clavicle controls as well, guys. You can see them right here on my character. And the thing about the clavicle is it always follows the motion of your arm. Like if I'm just in my default regular pose with my arms down, they're going to be hanging low. If I raise them up to the side, the clavicle rotates out a little bit up. Same if I go above. Same if I'm drawing back or going forward. You'll see that they have all that range of motion in there. So the clav is basically controls this kind of stuff on your character. This little shrugs and all that stuff. So that's all the clav. Very important. Do not forget to animate with that, because otherwise you'll just look like really stiff. It's going to add a lot of fluidity to your character. So I'm moving this around since this kind of follows, since that clav kind of follows the arm, we can rotate those up. And there we go. Let's see what the head is all about. This might be a strange head, given how strange the body sort of is. And it seems to be an IK sort of head, so you can pull this everywhere and make some sort of exorcist sort of scene. But we're just trying to get that. See his head's kind of tilted downward, looking at his feet. We might want to get that appeal in there as well to kind of do that. We have to make it in a naturalistic way, though. And I gotta say, I'm not crazy about this chest control. It's kind of limiting in how it's set up. Kind of don't like it. It's also very unconventional. I've not seen a chest like that before. Usually it's just like an FK chain, like I was saying, guys. It's a lot easier to pose. This one, I'm kind of fighting the different poses of all this. I guess it just feels a little bit annoying to deal with. Let's see here. But yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so we have our first pose in there. I would say that I'm lacking a lot of appeal of this pose. Like I think this needs to be more rotated outward, like this in the chest. This is rotated back as well. And let's get this rotated as well. All right. So now you have your character posed up. Don't do anything except for this. Make sure I can select all of my controls and press S. 100% make sure you press S. S is to set your key. And if we were to drag the timeline, you could potentially lose all of that. Like we posed that for a while, right? Like you could potentially lose that pose if you don't press S. So get used to posing the character, then pressing S. My scene started on frame 0, so that's what I'll be using. But yeah, so watch out for that. And man, yeah, what the hell? There's so many cool things on this rig. But yeah, so that's one pose, right? Then let's go to our passing pose. So I have a little plugin that I can like scrub forward in, or I can scrub frame by frame. It's pretty useful. You can also press period or comma on some videos, and it looks like you can on this video too. So that's pretty nice. So period and comma advance forward in frames. And you can even go as far as to count the amount of frames that you go and just offset that in Maya, right? So like if I want to go to my next phrase where this back foot is starting to lift up, that'd be 1, 2, whoops. Oh God, no. Wait, where is it? Tightrope. So I think I started right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 frames from that point is about when this guy starts lifting his leg. So if we go, and before we start moving the time slide around, if we just press S to lock everything in. Think of pressing S as locking in a control on that frame of time, right? That's what these keys do. They keep track of every single location of that character. So if we go forward 10 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 10. I usually immediately like to press S, and I usually have auto key on. So any changes that I make to this pose happen. They automatically key themselves. So like if I move this right here, it's gonna take that key. Then I don't have to think about pressing S again and potentially forgetting and losing progress. So I recommend that. If you like pressing S, then that's fine. I've met animators that do, so it's nothing too strange. But let's look at how do I turn on auto key? If you want to turn on auto key, it's this bottom right button. You'll see it looks like a plus with like arrows rotating around it. It's in the bottom right over here. No problem. No problem. So now let's see what our guy is doing in our reference. So now this foot is completely underneath that pelvis, right? So we need to get that into our pose right here. So let's move that right there. And then this foot is raising up off the ground, right? So we could go in and key it like this, like see how I brought that control up to prevent it from hyperextending over here. And I'm bending this down, I'm bending this up, but some rigs don't work that way. I see this one as one of them. Oftentimes you can rotate one of these controls you see right here. It'll be more visible if I do it on this front one. So if I click this little control right here, and then rotate up, see how it just raises that heel for us? In the opposite direction, it's not very appealing, but but yeah, so you can just raise that heel up with that control. So I'm going to do that on this right here, just to make sure I'm not hyperextending. We want to make sure our knees don't lock out completely. Same with our elbows, right? It's like it's a classic animation mistake. If they pop, if they're going too far, that's what they call it. They call it a pop because it looks like your knees kind of jolt into place when you play it, when you play the animation through. So we have that pose now, or like at least the feet, and the arms seem to be a little bit. He's a little bit more forward facing in his chest. So I think I'm going to do that here as well. I really don't like how moving the top chest sort of moves this bottom pelvis. It's pretty weird in terms of controls. I would wonder if they have a different way of doing that. Also, it seems as though whenever you move the chest, you're going to be wanting to move both, both this top control and this bottom, it looks like, at the same time. So let's straighten out that guy's leg. Or, yeah, I see. So see, it makes a really straight profile there. If we rotate that bottom, see how rotating that bottom one straightens out that leg in there? It's because his hips are kind of shifting to support his weight on that. And his arms are mostly in the same pose. We'll have to check it though once we get some more poses in here. And I'd say if you're at this point, I would just select all the character controls, press S again, just to like, I want you guys to get in the habit of doing that, because that's gonna, like, by selecting the whole character and then pressing S at a certain point in time, you basically are aligning all of your keys to that time. So if we go to Windows, Animation Editor, Graph Editor, you see that there's no sort of mistake in there. Like these are all lined up perfectly. Obviously, we can't keep it like that for the entire scene, but we can still work pretty clean. You know, we don't have to have keys on every single frame, but sometimes it will end up like that. If you're, especially on like foot plants and like letting off the foot, like getting that perfect contact with the ground, you know. But yeah, so we're just trying to get one cycle in here. I'm just going to scrub forward with period again. And I'm just going to real quick get the frame when he touches the ground right here with his foot. So let's go back. Let's see how many frames forward that is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It swings forward. 14, it starts to swing back. 15, not there. 16, 17, 18, 19. So I think it's 19 frames before it finally touches the ground. So let's go forward 19 frames on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Boom, right there, 29. Don't feel like you don't have to count them up. There's no shame in doing it. You can always straight up count the frames. Here we go. Now I want to, since that foot was all bent like this, I want to zero it out again. If I want to be very specific about it, I can go up to my channel box up here and actually type 0 into that channel. And there we go. Let's get this into his pose. So now his pelvis is a little bit more, it's pretty much facing forward. His torso is facing forward and he's kind of losing balance to the right. So let's face this top control forward. I mean, this bottom control forward, and the top control needs to be over here, right here. And this tilt. Oof, man, I really don't like that chest control. It's really strange. I would say, yeah, this would be better. Yeah, okay. Here we go. So let's get this super high arc right there, or a super exaggerated pose right there. Mm-hmm. can also pull this in because his spine isn't tilting that back as much. It's all about paying attention to that posing, guys. It's pretty much the secret. It's just poses over time. That's pretty much all animation is. There we go. And this one is super torqued up, so let's move this down. We haven't even really played our animation yet, right, guys? It's gonna look very slow at the beginning, but you know, that's how it is. Man, I really don't like this chest control though. It's like really weird.
Hey, Mike, real quick question.
What's up?
I might be facing a little bit of a emergency at home. Is the homework just to go ahead and animate this character to the walk where of our choosing, correct?
Yeah. Make the walk, have it loop, and it'll be just play blast out a few of its steps for the class.
Okay, sounds good. All right, I just wanted to make sure. I might have to leave the call. I hate to leave the call, but I might have to just random emergency sprung up. But
Yeah.
Okay, this is due on not next class or the class after that?
Class after, but we're going to be looking at all of our animation next class. So
Okay, perfect. Just wanted to make sure. All right, cool. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Good luck, man.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. But yeah, if you guys have emergencies, like, just let me know. You don't have to let me know what's going on. I don't want to be prying into your personal lives, but yeah. In cases like that, I'm not going to be like, no, pay attention to my class. Like, come on. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. So I want to get the rest of this pose in there, right? So I need this foot sort of going back. At this point, I kind of want to scrub my timeline a little bit to see what's going on. So I'm going to select everything and press S. Always make sure you key before you press S. And yeah, so I need to keep this foot going back in space. There. And is it quite raising up yet? No, it's firmly planted. But yeah, so I'm basically just straight up copying this guy's pose. Guys, like, this is not, it's not anything crazy, you know? Not anything crazy. I definitely hate this spine control though. I'm not kidding, guys. Like, this is a weird spine. Feels pretty bad to animate on. Mostly because it's hard to tell, like, yeah, I'm not liking the spine controls. Yeah, Diana, feel free to switch to a different rig if you want. I know this is a cool rig, but like the fact that you can't just like you have like 3 different points that are controlling how it goes is kind of weird. Like, that's not intuitive to animate on. At this point, I'm going to file, save scene as. Everybody, I want to show just like what a different spine looks like. I'm going to do scenes, walk cycle. Oops. Cycle 1. Okay, it said error. File type cannot be changed. So let's go save scene as again. Sometimes you just have to tell it twice to save and it works. Other times it doesn't. Walk cycle .ma. Let's try that. Oh, Michael no like. Mikey no likey this. Save scene as. I think it's because I opened up that workspace folder, and I think that's what's causing some issues. Yeah. Well, so I can't save my scene, unfortunately, guys. So I'll just keep working in here. Damn, that sucks. I'm going to open up another Maya though to show you guys what a regular spine looks like. Major sad hours, yeah, right. Pretty tragic. But yeah, I just want to show you guys what a normal spine looks like to animate on, because that's very abnormal and honestly kind of difficult to work with. All right, so I'm just going to raw open up that rig file. Here we go. That's going to take a while to open, but that's fine. Okay, well, Maya's just gonna sit around for a while. That's cool. That's cool. I didn't want to animate anyways. My God. Whew.
Mike, I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, two actually. How do you zoom into the timeline at the bottom?
So this timeline, let me open up the other character real quick. I'll just show you on this other file. So this timeline is kind of like zoomed out right now, right? We can just zoom in by dragging these little light squares on the outside. So see how it kind of adjusts our overall time for the scene.
I don't have those.
You don't have those?
No, I have 2019, maybe that's why.
Ooh, no, it should be in there still. Go to, it's got to be a display setting, I have to imagine. Or Windows. UI elements. Go to UI elements up here under Windows. And make sure you have range slider enabled. It is.
It is.
What about time slider?
Got that one. My other question is, when you put a rig in, does it ever like change your keyboard shortcuts? Because that's very much happening to me right now.
No. What? Wait, really?
Might be a me problem. Yeah, I think it's my keyboard's connection to my cloud computer. Sometimes it doesn't want to work, but S key is not working and the space bar isn't working either.
Space bar is not working. S key is not working.
Up the different views.
Yeah, because that's important to see too. Shit, that shouldn't be happening. Weird. Could you maybe the range slider might be off the bottom of the screen? Make sure that you're like maximized up here. Up at the top right. Sammy, do you have the time slider in general just by itself?
Yeah, that came up. That worked. It's just my shortcuts are all jacked up and I don't really know why.
Yeah, that's really strange. You make sure you, like, if none of your hotkeys are working, maybe go to Windows, settings and preferences, hotkey editor, and then this will open up your hotkey editor. I'm on my animation key bindings right now, but you should be able to see your hotkeys in like some sort of if you haven't changed any, in Maya, then it's just going to be Maya default.
Okay.
And then you should be able to save and close. And then see if pressing S works now.
I think it worked. No, maybe not.
That's so weird. Does like W, E, and R work? Like, can you swap between?
Yeah,
like,
those work.
Those work, but S doesn't work. Damn.
Doesn't work in space. But it doesn't work.
Wait a minute. Do you have a control selected? Because you have to have controls selected in order to key them.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Could you share your screen for us?
Sure.
I'll stop my share.
Oh, I cannot.
Oh.
Said no.
Oh wait. Oh, let me. Multiple participants. Try now.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Wait. You do have the range slider down there.
Yeah, I got that part. It's just my keys aren't working.
Now the keys aren't working. Wait, I see that you set a key before though. Did you do that manually through like the menus?
It's a pain in the ass. Like this when I try this thing does something, but
What the fuck is that?
it's not doing it.
What is that up there?
This?
I'm seeing like a bunch of weird things on your screen. Like you see over at your channel box on the right.
Uh-huh.
What was that little thing that popped up when you pressed that? Like, what is that?
No idea. This thing lights up and it does something, but it does nothing.
Go to your Windows settings and preferences. Hotkey editor. Let me see what this looks like. And then go to go to the little gear next to my default. That's so weird.
Like it says that it should work, but
yeah, right? Like that's what I'm looking. I was like, it should be bound to that.
Mhm.
What is that? Try, all right. First step, save as. Save scene as, and then
I forget what this girl's name is, but we're just gonna call her Queen.
save scene. There you go. That worked. Try closing Maya, because this is some whack shit that I've never seen before. That was, man, Maya will just decide to change, because let me share my screen. Yeah, look at my channel box. Like there's no record button, or I don't even know what that was. Like that was
interesting. Okay.
Some weird shit.
Love that for me.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a cool little feature that you found.
Don't know what it does. It definitely doesn't set keys.
No, not at all. But yeah, open that up again.
Okay, I'm moving my other computer. Hopefully that does something.
Yeah, hopefully. You could try opening Maya again on that computer and seeing if it works.
Okay.
But yeah, guys, this is what a normal spine looks like. How you can just rotate it like a spinal cord, you know. Zelda's got some weird shit going on that spine, so I completely understand if you want to switch over to a different character. I would at this point, honestly, because that's just going to be a real barrier to learning. But right now I'm kind of locked in because I want to finish this lecture up for you guys of getting the whole cycle in there. All right. So back to Zelda. Here we go. Good old Zelda. Always there for us. So nice. And it definitely needs help, like in the reference. All the feet go way out in front and then slowly come to the ground back here. Simply because like he's being cautious, right? That's like in his character. So we would need to do something like that too. I would just raise up my foot like this in front, and I just want a few frames in front of that contact that we did. So you can see now that goes over there like that. However, it also clips directly through the other foot, which is not right. So I'm gonna make sure I clear that. And I'm just pressing S every time I do that. So now we have that, guys, right? We're just kind of getting a little bit more free form with it. Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna look a little bit right now and see if I can just convert this to an FK spine somehow, because I honestly hate this spine so much. I know I might sound like some sort of snooty animator, but but if it's like dramatically slowing you down, then it's kind of not great. Kind of not great at all. Yeah, I don't see anything here. Maybe there's something on this bottom control. Maybe some extra shit here. No. Damn. That's rough. I hate this spine. Wait, maybe the plus on the back. Is it true? Oh, baby. Here we go. That's what Mikey likes. All right. So let's see here. You go click this plus. Yeah, there had to be an FK-IK switch on there. That was so fucking annoying. So if you are working with the Zelda rig, just go in, click that click that plus back there, and make sure it's on FK. Now these FK-IK channels, as you will discover, they're keyed as well, right? So right now it's like interpolating between FK and then the IK controls. It looks really weird. Let's drag all of these down to 0. So we're all in FK now. Boom. I have that extra control. That's annoying. One second. Let me get that vizzed off so I don't have to see it anymore. Man, you guys don't know how happy I am that you can just make that an FK spine. I was about to lose my mind with the fact that they don't have they didn't have an FK spine there. There we go. All right, and let's see if this is working properly. No, please. Wait, don't tell me you're also fucking weird somehow. Oh my god. Wow, really? Bro, this rig. Let's see. What else you got? Oh man. Really? There we go. That is so fucking weird. Center of gravity. Wow. That is so fucking weird. All right, well, so now this is our base control. Wait, let's make sure that this, yeah, okay, this is behaving normally. So now your waist is going to be this plus. I don't know why it's the thing on the back and not clearly this thing that's in the middle. Kind of weird. In fact, I would probably turn that off entirely. Let's see, is this? Yeah. My God. Whew. All right, rig salvaged. Rig is fine now. All right. So let me quickly get back to a point that works for all this. right here. And I'm just lowering this. Yes. All right, and then I need to get all my key poses back again. Sorry, guys. So if you're using the Zelda, I would definitely say that you should animate like this. Let's make sure this isn't some weird alternate. Oh my God, yeah, I hope it's not. Otherwise this rig is scuffed. All right. And I'm just gonna go back through really quickly right here. So he's back. Oops. There we go. This just makes so much more sense. All right, cool. There we go. And these control these keys. I don't need to pay attention to them yet. All right. So there we go. Nice. Now let's keep looking at our video. Ooh, that's going to be a wild pose. So he kind of loses balance and then quickly moves in that. How are you scrolling through that YouTube video? Yep, Ricardo has the info for you. Sorry, I wasn't looking at chat at that exact time. But yeah, period and comma. In Maya, I bound it to something else. I don't know what its default bind is, but I bind it to T and Y. So I can just do that. But it is super useful when you're looking at reference to be able to scrub through frame by frame, because I have about this frame right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in order to get to the frame where he's kind of raising that back toe off the ground. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this foot is going to be traveling back a little bit. And then this foot will as well. And I'm going to rotate this, control up to get that up there. Here. You don't want to be too off balance with this because it's not going to be believable. So let's try to get this pose dialed in right there. Right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm trying to find when I have that passing pose again. It's gonna be about 4 or 5 frames after this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about right here. And let's zero this out. There we go. So he swings it out, and he is in a crazy pose. He kind of even goes down a little bit right here. And we're just going to be keeping on this. He's kind of going forward at this point. And we need to fix this head back up right there. And I think I have some bad rotation on the key before this, right? So if I scrub back through, that's not too bad, but I might just delete this key. There we go, get there. And I'm just gonna select my whole character, and I'm gonna make keys on all these keys that we've been making here. Just again, to dial in the character on those frames for all those controls. We wanna make sure no control is like forgotten. Lands, and then we should have a loop soon. So yeah, so our looping pose is going to be when this back foot, the left foot is in kind of going towards the back again. So it's going to be like right after here. So we probably only have like one more key left. So if we do, we can just straight up right now copy. If we select our whole character, I'm going to delete this 50 key right here. And if we go to 47, I'm going to go back to key 1 and then right click copy, right click paste. I'm going to repeat this right now before everyone does it. Don't control V, control, or wait, don't control or command C, and don't control or command V. Don't do that. If you're going to copy and paste keys, right click it on this timeline and copy, and then select where you want it to go, right click paste. If you command C, command V, it's going to copy that rig and then try to paste that rig back into the file, and it's going to fuck everything. It's going to be awful. So just make sure you're not doing that, and you'll be good. You can do Control C, Control V if you're working within the graph editor, but yeah, I prefer not to rely on that too much. I mean, I like when you're starting out, at least, like I do it now, but like I wouldn't rely on that too much when you're learning, because you will, there's going to be a point where you're going to copy and paste an entire rig into a scene, and it's going to be awful. So yeah. But yeah, so now we can see kind of how this is looping. Doesn't look great. Doesn't look great. There's a lot of things that we could fix. I feel like this drop isn't convincing, and all that it's going to take is just watching the footage over and over. That's all it's going to be. It's just watching this guy do it, and eventually you'll get something that looks good if you just see what the difference between his stuff and yours is. And yeah, so that's the basics of it. We don't need to, for next class, we don't need to really match, we don't need to match the ground immediately. Like for next class though, I'm gonna go over that, like, because eventually what we're gonna do is select all of our character, and I'm going to do, there's a few ways we could do it. If you're going to loop this cycle, we can either shift left click and then drag to highlight all of our keys, right click copy, then right click paste. And so now we have 2 loops of that, right? That's one way of doing it. And And then all we do is select this kind of bottom control. I'm going to wipe the keys clean of that thing. Delete, and then we'll take this last, we'll set up a key on our last frame of our animation and kind of just drag it forward. Ooh. And then, so this is just a preview for next class. Or if you want to get ahead on this little part. But yeah, so now you can see exactly where we're traveling a bit too fast on our character. Basically, think of this bottom control right here as the speed, as moving at the same speed as that treadmill, right? Like, it's a really slow speed on this. It should be a slow speed on our animation as well, you know. If it matches that speed, because it's traveling at a constant speed right there, like this control will travel at a constant speed as well. But you can see that like some of our controls slide around, so we might have a mismatch in terms of the speed of this bottom control and the rest of our controls on our character. But yeah, but just study those frames, guys. Make sure you're hitting all the poses, and make sure it loops back. Remember, the key to making it loop back is control copying the first key of the animation. And if I go shorten my timeline to where it was, if you just control copy, I mean not control copy, God, if you right click copy and then right click paste, boom. That's how you verify that it's like the same key on both of those ends right there. You can see how you're kind of going along. But yeah, so this first week, I just want you guys to get the motion of the character going, the personality. Try to get that personality in there. I would say start trying to polish it up too. Like try to get something that looks appealing. Like if we were to critique mine right now, actually, yeah, let's do that. Same as before when we were. Let's do this proper style. So I'm going to go to. I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to fizz off my controls. So say I wander into class next week and I'm a student and I put in this play blast. Actually, I'll loop it twice. There we go. Controller, oh, sorry. Right there. Boom. Windows. Graph editor. Ooh, here. So 94. And delete. Boom. So say I was a student and I was like, hey, my name is Mike Henriette. I want you guys to look at my animation. And I wander into class, I play blast this bad boy out. We have our settings for play blast already set. Right here, and then I show this. So tell me what is wrong with it, guys. Tell me what's going on, what I could make better. Anyone got any suggestions for your classmate Mike? He's having some problems with his walk.
I feel like the arms kind of snap up a little too fast when the right arm, I think.
I think you're right. I would say both arms probably. Also, those arms are not really animated right now. I mean, they are absolutely. They're moving through space, but like they're not doing really any balancing. They seem to be kind of like this effect where it's like basically just parented to the chest. Like they just move with the chest. Instead, they should kind of. You'll probably see some parts in the animation where they kind of like are actually trying to balance out and get a little bit bent. They'll try to do some stuff. Let's look at the source. Let's look at the source of this. See how his hands are hitting some. They're hitting these points where they're trying to kind of balance this body out. So yeah, I would definitely get some of that in there. Anything else, guys? Anything else? Anything else? There's a good amount to that we can fix in here, guys.
Maybe when she lifts her feet, she can dip down her like chest or core a little bit more lower, I think.
So exaggeration. Yeah. I agree. David is again hitting us with some hot truth. Yeah, I would dip this down a little bit lower to kind of like we're animators with that. Like exaggeration is one of the principles. Like so like we should. I mean, I'm not completely in frame, but like when you're catching your balance, like you might want to bend forward and really get like an exaggerated pose out there. Like don't be afraid to go beyond like this guy's poses and see what works, you know. Also, I'd say that it kind of dips. Like I'm not convinced that this character really lost their balance right there, you know. Like it kind of just looks like like it just kind of bobs down. It doesn't look like that force is kind of coming from anywhere. Let's see exactly how this guy lost his balance. See, it's much more it's much more smooth. Like look at his hips throughout this. Right there. That's when he loses his balance. He eases into that pose. Like, oh, so it's and his pelvis comes from the front to the back. I think it's because he misplaced this foot a little bit and had to take his back foot off the ground, and that's why he has to swing out, right? Because he's swinging that back foot forward in order to keep his balance there. He's got to bring that pelvis back, kind of do that. So yeah, and I know it's a bit arbitrary because like I'm not turning in the assignment, you know, but like I just want you guys to be starting to think about this sort of stuff when you're animating, you know. But yeah, thanks, David. Those are great notes. Those are like pretty much two of the main sort of issues I had with this scene. But yeah, there's a lot more that we could do. Like the hand poses aren't animated at all. When this character whoops, there we go. So it's like it varies. Sometimes he's going like this, if you can see my hands. Sometimes he's going like this. Sometimes he's outstretched. Like so he kind of goes in between them, like down there. Yeah. His thumbs are kind of moving. They are honestly in pretty similar poses a lot of the time. You could just add a little bit of texture to them, you know, to kind of get something else. Let's see what else we got. Also, I think there's like kind of just a missing overall sort of overlap. Like look at his spine here. Look at his spine. And think about that squirrel tail. Like as his spine goes forward, like with each step, it has this sort of action. Like if his head is up here, this is the base of his spine down here. He kind of, wait, I guess it'd be the other way, right? So he kind of goes, ooh, 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 ooh. So it's like, let's review that again. Right here, like right there. Whew. See how his upper chest is sort of delaying with each step, and it kind of comes in like that. I would try to get some of that in there as well, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now. You know, I want you guys to kind of push on this, but remember that when we loop and start moving that main control, that we're going to need to clean up the speed of the feet on the ground. How mine were sliding all over the place. We're going to need to kind of solidify that. And we're going to use a little bit of a plugin for that, a little bit of a cheat. But it's a good one, and it'll be really useful for prop animation as well. It's basically something that allows us to track an object to another. It's incredibly useful. I have no idea why it's not default with Maya, because it is so integral to animation. But with that, I'd say for the rest of the class, just work on your animation. Start getting those key poses in, the timing. Remember that you can scrub YouTube videos with period and comma. That's very useful for this. So I'm just going to chill out for the next half hour, 45 minutes, you know. And you guys can absolutely ask me any questions. It doesn't have to be animation related, just anything, you know.